to develop a new system, that incremental improvement is in many cases almost obsolete by the time it gets to the troops. If you're looking for a leap ahead, system, is there one out there that you think would make a huge difference that could?
It depends on the category. In the area of shoot, there are some technologies in laser, electromagnetic guns. There's some things being done with powders, et cetera, that can reduce the footprint of powder. So there are some significant enhancements in the S&T and R&D world that we're exploring aggressively, and some of those are already being employed by the Navy in quantities, but they're not sufficient yet for ground combat. In terms of move, there's a lot of things that we're looking at in terms of robotics and autonomous systems. Chairman McCain mentioned the tank. I couldn't agree more. That the M1A1 Abrams tank was commissioned when I was lieutenant in 1980. That would be the equivalent of someone coming in when I was commissioned training on the M4 Sherman from World War II. His comment about quoting H.R. McMaster's about outgunned and outranged is accurate. We need a significant 10x level improvement in our ground combat vehicle, in our tank in Bradley. Is there something on the horizon? We are going to continue with incremental improvements to those two systems in the near term, but while we explore the possibility for 10x improvement. There are some bright lights out there. Look, for example, at what Tesla just did. They have cars now that were 100,000 or 40,000, and they just beat out GM and Ford, and they don't have an engine. They're running on a battery. There's some serious possibilities in there for application in military use, and we're looking at that. There are some exploratory studies being done in materials, significant material development that can provide the same protective power at a much significantly less weight. So there's things in the area of move. Communications, move, shoot, communicate, sort of binning. For communications, Chairman McCain mentioned WEN-T and the others. The communications architecture of the United States Army, and I would argue even the United States Department of Defense, is a critical capability and at the same time a critical vulnerability, as it is for most other nation states. And there's some significant, and I don't want to go into too much on it for classification purposes, but there are some significant changes and improvements that must be made in the short term on our ability to have assured communication, and I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've had hearing after hearing after hearing, and we talk about the threat level that's there, and I think we all agree, but I want to talk about that. But on this acquisition thing, I was 8 years in the House on the House Armed Services Committee before coming over here 20 years ago, and with the business